Good afternoon. Hi. Welcome, guys. Today we're looking at DP-100, designing and implementing a data science solution on Azure, which will get you the Data Science Associate badge, right? Interesting exam, interesting life cycle, interesting future. So just starting off, has anybody attempted the exam yet? You have? Was it not what you expected? Okay. It's not what you expect. It's far from anything you can imagine you're going to get. Because your perception is that you're going in to take a Microsoft exam and you're going to encounter very little Microsoft. Okay. It's the nature of the exam is that it is a data science exam, not a Microsoft exam. Now that's being changed, and I believe in February next year they're going to release a new version of it, which will focus entirely on Azure machine learning. Okay, so it'll be the machine learning service. It's not necessarily going to make it any easier because it's the requirement then will be that you understand Python, R, pipelines, those sort of things. So it's a really interesting exam. If you plan to take it within the next 3 months, like I said, there's a whole heap of stuff that you're going to have to get your head around. Okay. I obviously, if you've had a look at it, like that young lady over there, if you have had a look at it, then you probably want to kind of go back out and study and have another go a little down the road. If you are working as a data scientist, so if you're familiar with, I don't know, the libraries, the packages, the languages, the kind of data science stuff that's available to you right now, you're probably in a good place. But if you're very Microsoft-centric in the way you do things and you potentially don't use any open source, or you potentially have been, most of your data science has been sort of black box type stuff, like Azure Machine Learning Studio, for instance, then you may want to wait and in the meantime become familiar with Azure Machine Learning Service. I found that I did okay. I mean, I took the exam the first time, did okay, but that was based on the fact that I work with a lot of this stuff a lot of the time. I do kind of understand why people encounter this and kind of go, wow, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. As a result, the general advice is, I took it at home, which I don't know if anybody's taken an exam, one of those sort of self-proctored or home-proctored exams. Kind of freaky experience because your entire environment has to be sterile. So you have to hold up your camera, and if you've got pictures on the wall, you have to take them off. And if you've got a dual screen, you have to take one of them, remove one of the screens. And if you've got, stuff lying on the floor, you have to kind of clean it out. So you've got to be in this completely sterile environment where they believe nobody's going to pop out of the wall and give you answers and those sort of things. So it's this kind of weird. And then when I took it, somebody actually monitored you. I believe that's done through some sort of recognition type algorithm nowadays. So it's not a physical person monitoring you, it's an algorithm looking for some strange behavior or sort of head movements or eye movements or something like that. So that's the way they do it now. But when I took it, it was that all those weirdities. So what I would suggest, if you are going to take it, I would take it at an exam center. And the reason for that is you get the pen and paper, because it has 2 case studies that require a lot of cognitive ability, as in you really need to ingest what they're asking you, or the case study in the first place, and then what they're asking you. So you need to make loads and loads of notes. Then you probably need to read the questions and go back and read the case study and make more notes. Okay? It's that kind of exam. It's a real test. I like the idea, though, because I'm one of those people who believes that if you're a data scientist, you'll pick up the tools. But if you know the tools, it's not going to make you a data scientist. right? So, and if this is a data scientist exam, it should be about the data science. The fact that it happens to be on Azure is really insignificant. So I don't mind the exam the way it is. I question how they are going to ask questions and make develop a really robust exam around a single product. As good as the product is, right? It's still a single product. And the guys who were in the sort of automated machine learning session this morning, one of the things that I brought up was the fact that Python's one of those languages that essentially tells you what it's going to do. If you're going to run a configuration, the command is run configuration. Right? If you're going to connect to a workspace, the command is connect to workspace kind of thing. And as a result, it's very difficult to ask questions that are challenging when you are essentially using a language that is as obvious in terms of the way it interprets as Python is. So going forward, guys, a couple of things. I'm going to get you to try and understand what it takes to pass this exam right now and what it's going to take to pass this exam should you decide that Azure Machine Learning Service is the way you'd like to go. Okay, obviously the requirements, and then just highlight a couple of things that you might want to take with you if you're going to take this in the next sort of 3 months or so. So with that in mind, okay, obviously this is just the sort of pathway to how we get there, guys, right? And the profile of an Azure data scientist. What I really want you to see is not necessarily the learning path, okay, which is obviously the path to the exam. The little guys that you see there, the development environment, data for modeling, feature engineering, that kind of thing, that sort of calls out what you get in the exam. But I think the expectation is that you get it in the context of Microsoft. You don't, right? You just get it. Feature engineering using Scikit, MATLAB, PyTorch, TensorFlow, whatever, right? The notion here is that you're a data scientist. The dragging it back and sort of making it more Microsoft-centric is a great idea, but I hope they keep the data science notion in the exam. That ultimately rolls up into the designing and implementing a data science solution on Azure and gets you to this guy, the data science associate. Now, some basics, 40 to 60 questions. Okay. Now, in my case, it started with 2 case studies that you cannot skip, followed by 46 questions. Right. Total time of 220 minutes. You've got 180 minutes for the actual exam, and there's a sort of period that you can make comments, get yourself ready, and things like that. You get a little bit of everything, as you can pretty much see. Build lists, hot areas, active screens, drag and drop. Okay. They're also planning to plug performance-based testing into the exam. Now, performance-based testing means that you're going to encounter a lab. So ultimately, a lab will open up on the screen, a bunch of tasks down the side, and it'll say things like, create something, and you have to create it. They'll be specific now and then as well. They'll say create using the portal, or they'll just say create. Now, in many cases, if they just say create, you can kind of go, well, I'm going to use the CLI, or I'm going to use Python, or I'm going to use the portal. You pick your poison. You have to take into account the fact that you're being tested and you have a limited amount of time. So you don't want to use the portal and do something that's going to take, 10, 15 minutes when you can write one line of code that goes and does it for you. These are the things that you have to keep in mind when you start encountering performance-based testing. Now, this won't happen until next year, until the new version of the exam, okay? Until the Azure Machine Learning Service component. Case studies, very, very technical. Like I said, guys, takes a lot of cognitive effort, the case studies. And I felt like I would have benefited a little more from having the ability to write things down. Okay, the home testing takes all of those kind of things away from you. So if you are going to take it, if you do believe that you need the extra little bits of notes and things like that, then I would go off to a testing center in order to do it. So in terms of overview, objective domains, okay, this is how it breaks down. Now, who's taken, I know one person's taken this exam, but who's taken an exam generally, a Microsoft exam? So most of the room. So you guys understand that the objective domains and those percentages don't necessarily mean that in 100 questions for the first objective domain, you're going to get 12 or 15 to 20 questions, right? It just means it makes up 15 to 20% of the exam, which could be one question, or it could be 30 questions. That really then means that some questions will be worth nothing. So one of the things that you have to consider is every now and then I encounter someone who says, oh, well, I'm really good at data modeling, feature engineering, and developing models, so that's going to get me through most of the exam, so I won't worry about the other one. It's not how it works. Okay? The weighting is set up in a manner that makes it difficult or almost impossible to identify what you need to know beforehand. It's just going to go in, it's going to grab a bunch of questions out of a pool, it's going to weight them, it's going to present the questions to you, you're going to have to answer it. The only thing that you can be sure of is that you're going to get the 2 case studies, okay, and the related questions with that. Questions are also set up in a very different way nowadays. Okay, so one of the things that Microsoft did a few years ago was essentially go out looking for a methodology around how they could deal with things like piracy and cheating. And one of the ways that they found that they could do that was by talking to the American Medical Association. And the conversation was around how do you stop people from cheating on medical exams? And so it went to this idea of symptoms diagnosis. So if I give you 2 symptoms, you'll diagnose the problem. If I change one of the symptoms, the diagnosis will change. So the exam is now developed in very much the same way. So they will add words, take away words to make the question different on a day-to-day basis. Or they will remove answers. Okay, so nowadays when item writers write questions and things like that, they're supposed to supply 8 answers rather than 4, so that the answers can rotate. There's always still going to be 1 or 2 correct, but what they call distractors will be moved around, things like that. Okay, so there's a lot of work in that space, and then obviously adding performance-based testing is getting it to a point where it makes it really difficult nowadays to sort of go in, look at the exam, go back the next day and expect everything to be the same. Okay. Also, you're getting 46 questions out of a pool of about 110 at the moment, I think. So it's quite likely you can go back the next day and not get a single question that you got from the day before. All right, so it's really nowadays about knowing your stuff, and which is obviously a very, very good thing. These are the various domains, guys. I'll come back to them. I wanted to show you this slide, partly because it's probably the ugliest slide I've ever created. But as you can see down at the bottom, you need to be comfortable with all of this stuff if you plan to take this exam, okay, in its current format. So a lot of that you'll look at, and if you're looking at some of those acronyms, some of those technologies, some of those capabilities, functionalities, softwares, and you're going, this is a mystery, you're not ready. You're not even close to ready. But if you can comfortably say, I know what a deep neural network is, I know what BrainScript is, I understand normalization, Weaker is just something I do on a regular basis, and so on and so forth, then you're ready for the exam. you'll see that when you look at this, a lot of it kind of makes sense. I've just sort of munched it all together purposely because I want it to be confusing, because when you encounter it, it's confusing. And as a result, you need to kind of unpack it so that when you do encounter it, it's not confusing for you. Right? So as you're going through it, there's some obvious things in there. Scikit-learn. Now, anybody who's writing any Python or working in the sort of data science field generally will have a familiarity, hopefully, with scikit-learn. Okay, RNN, DNN, ANN, okay. These are just primarily deep learning models. So hopefully you'll be comfortable with that as well. Statistics starts to hit a slightly different place. Okay, and this goes to something else that I'm really, really passionate about, that is a real issue in the AI and data science world, and that's the lack of mathematical knowledge. Right. There's so many drag and drop black box tools where you just plug in data one side and it fires an answer out the other side, that nobody really understands what's happening in that pipeline. Okay. Nobody really knows how to interpret it. Nobody really knows how to talk to a statistician, an actuary. So I generally work in the construction industry and the finance industry. So I work for a couple of commercial loans companies in Australia and a couple of construction companies. And one of the things that I encounter all the time is, look what I've done, this amazing model, it spits out this and it's pretty accurate and it does this and it does that. And the stats guy will sit there and go, how does it do it? Right? Because he's not interested in what it does. He's interested in how it does it and how that's defined, what the security context is, the mathematical operations, how it works on his particular data. One of the things that I did a while back was I created, well, along with the team of other guys, we created this model that allowed them to essentially be able to qualify a loan within about 4 minutes. And we thought we'd gone through this amazing process and they had this beautiful model and information would come in and 4 minutes later somebody would know whether they could get a loan or not. Okay? It measured everything, risk, when they would pay back, whether they would default, everything. And they went, not interested. And then I said, why? And they said, well, we have something called the desperation index. And I went, what's the desperation index? They went, when we're about to give someone a loan, we need to know how desperate they are for the loan, right? Because if someone comes in today and says, I need to loan $1,000 or $100,000, if we give them that $100,000 4 minutes later or 5 minutes later, only to find out that they lost their job 5 minutes ago, they crashed the car, they did this, they did that, they're in a whole heap, basically, and we've just given them a whole heap of money. So they measure everything. How many times you check your loan on the website, how many times you call up to see if it's been, okay, that's what they call the desperation index. And then 24 hours later, they'll say to you, it's fine, you can have the money. For no other reason except to measure how much you want the money. Right, and if you're constantly calling, it's a flag. If you're constantly checking the website, it's a flag. Right, so it's really interesting. And then you start thinking, okay, hold on a second. Now we have to write all of this into the model. Okay, so now we have to take something that we thought was this really cool piece of work, and we have to let it talk to a bunch of other pieces of work in order to create this overall model that measures a bunch of other things that we had no idea even existed up to that point. So, and they're not going to talk about this in the language that I've just talked about. They are just going to say, this is what we're measuring, here's the maths of it, go and build it. And so it's really important that you understand that in many cases you're going to get formulas. You're going to get, you're going to get all the sort of mathematical equations, the theories and things like that, rather than the typical, war room squares, this box does this and this box does that. That's not how a lot of these guys talk. Right? And you have to be used to that, and therefore you need to understand a lot of the mathematics that's involved here. Hopefully, normalization, sentiment analysis, language translation, model optimization, okay, weaker Docker. Docker is an important one, weirdly enough, in this exam. You get questions on Docker. You get questions on whether Docker can run on Windows, how it runs on Windows. If you see a particular error, what is the problem? How do you turn it on? How do you get the hypervisor to run? Those kind of things, right? So you kind of go, that's a bit left field. It is a bit left field. But let's face it, we're putting our models into containers. We need to put the platform in place that's going to host our model, right? Whether you do it on Windows or whether you do it up in the cloud now, it's going to live in a container, right? Even when you stand up machine learning services, it stands up containers. That's where your data goes in the first instance before they drop it into storage and stuff. So there's a lot of pieces here that we don't really take for granted as being part of the sort of data science world. We just naturally assume that we're going to be doing something Microsoft in a Microsoft environment that includes the data science. Most of us are thinking machine learning studio, right? But here we go beyond machine learning studio. Early stop strategies, the bandit problem, sequencing, okay, sequence models, hyperparameter tuning, okay, hypothesis testing. Everything is in this exam, guys. And I'm not saying this to scare you off. I know it sounds like I'm trying to make this exam more difficult than it is, but they've put this all in there to test you, and if you don't know it, then the test is going to be a little too much. Azure Databricks, you should be aware of what it does, what it's allowed to do. HD Insight, what it does, what it's allowed to do. Okay, feature selection, sampling, populations, algorithms, so on and so forth. Okay, what algorithm would you use when? Don't think about this in the context of the cheat sheet. Okay, it's not a case of the question is I want to group people. Which algorithm would I use? It's very much a specific, where it isn't just a case of, oh, that's a clustering, or that's an association, or that's a, no. It's very much a case of pinpointing exactly what they are asking you to do. Okay, so lots of stuff here that you need to be comfortable with. You need to understand the modern machine learning lifecycle. All right. Now, this is very much goes to the idea of Azure Machine Learning Service, which is now just called Azure Machine Learning. You'll notice the old Machine Learning Studio has been dropped. Machine Learning Studio now lives in here. And you need to understand these various pieces. Okay. That goes to some of the things you saw in the slide just before it. How do we develop and train our models? Which goes to feature selection, feature optimization, okay, modeling, training, hyperparameters. Okay. And then when you have something that's worth deploying, deployment. Runtime dependencies. Okay. Given that we're using so many open source technologies, how do we make sure that we can actually reach out and get them in order for our model to execute or to answer a query? Model validation, and then deployment, guys, right? And then post-deployment, how do we monitor our models and so on? Machine learning service, cloud services, the Python SDK. As of a couple of days ago, there's an R SDK as well, but you're not going to get that in this exam. Okay? Just remember that the exam is going to be a couple of months behind you, pretty much all the time. until they update it. And from that time, obviously, it's still a couple of months behind. So for instance, if the exam is released in February or March, it'll be the service till about December. And then you're ultimately going to have to know some of these things. So guys, what I really wanted to do ultimately was just show you a couple of things. And it's not showing you a couple of things in order to try and get you to pass the exam. But it's really a case of, if you plan to pass the exam, you need to practice this stuff. You need to feel like you have hands-on knowledge of most of what we're doing here. Now, the thing I would say is, if you plan to get yourself some hands-on knowledge, you need to be familiar with all of the tools they expect you to have some hands-on knowledge with. The first being machine learning. Okay. So one of the things you want to do is you want to stand up a workspace, right? So you want to go through this process, pick a subscription, create a resource group, ignite. Okay. Who's got access? Has everyone got access to Azure? Everyone got a trial, MSDN or something like that? Yep. So go off and do this. Don't worry too much about basic and enterprise. It doesn't matter which one you take. Okay. If you can, take enterprise. It just means things are slightly more expensive. It's not a major difference. It goes to how much you use and functionality. Create one of these guys and become familiar with what's going on here. Okay. Let me just have that kick off, and then we'll go somewhere else. Come on, come on. Oh, is that what it's waiting for? No, it's got a mind of its own at the moment. There we go. It doesn't like something. Oh, it failed the first time, but it looks like it's working the second. Okay. Then you guys want to become familiar with this guy as well. Okay. Now, when I say become familiar with Azure Databricks, understand Azure Databricks, what it is, how it works, what you use it for, how you would use it. Right. When you have your Databricks environments up and running, I'll put this in the same resource group. So once you have this guy up and running, no. Understand then what a workspace is, what a cluster is, what runs on what cluster. And by that I mean you're going to get questions around, you want to run Scala. What type of cluster should you put in place? You want to run Spark. What type of cluster should you put in place? All right, so it's going to ask you questions like that. You're doing X. Would you use HD Insight? Would you use Azure Databricks? Would you use notebooks? Would you use this? Would you use that? All right. So it's that kind of familiarity with all of the tools, but then also all of the technologies that potentially can be used on those tools, and then which technology is better suited on which tool, and which technology even works on which tool, because not everything works on everything. So as you're going through it, like I said, guys, you'll start to find that you have to stand all of these guys up. Now, if these guys are ready, no, they're both in progress. Also, as you're going through this, just make sure that in these places like AI and machine learning, that you understand all of these pieces, right? Build out Q&A Maker. Build out a bot that uses Q&A Maker. Build out Lewis. Build out a few of the cognitive services. Query the cognitive services from the portal. Have you guys all done that? You know how to do that? Right, so if I was to create a resource, say for instance I want to create text analytics. Oh, I'm typing in the wrong computer. Okay, stand up a text analytics environment. So once again, just whatever you want to put in there. Location, West US 2, pricing tier, whatever it's going to be. With these things, guys, you'll find they cost nothing. And then create it. Come on, everything seems really slow. And then what you want to do is once these tools are up and running, you want to play with them. You want to sort of just interact with them. Click on things. Use the samples. There's so much information up in the cloud that you guys can use. Docs.microsoft has got endless examples of pretty much everything. So that deployment is underway. Is there anything that, okay, so let's just go to this resource. So this is my text analytics environment. So what it says here, guys, is there's a key, there's an endpoint. We're not that concerned about the key and the endpoint, okay? We're more concerned about this guy, which is the API console. And now it's really saying to you, this will give you the ability to run code or change code that runs against the service. So what would you like to do? Now, to start off with, we probably better go and get the key. Because if we say, I'd like to detect language, and now can anyone remember where I put the service? It was West US 2, right? East US 2. East US 2, okay. So then I find East US 2. It's going to say to me, what's your key, as you can see over here. So input that. And now it will basically let you run requests against the service. So for instance, if you then went and changed something inside of here, okay, to another language, and then hit send, it should respond. Now, I don't know what, I've broken something. Have I? But anyway, what should happen is you should be able to change values in the request box. You should be able to send them to the service. It should then give you information, right? So what you then want to do is you want to see this working in this type of environment, right? You're just using the portal. Then you want to take it to the next step, which is to maybe make a web request, an HTTP request to the endpoint. Then you might want to kind of use Swagger or something like that, right, to continue to make the request. If you're working in the data science world, you probably know a little bit of code. So you build a little app and make it something simple. A web page with a happy face and a sad face that reaches the sentiment analysis component and says, you know, I don't like Thursdays, and you should see the sad face and not the happy face, right? So you've got a simple little app that just calls your analysis environment. That you will tend to find sits here. So once again, we go East US 2, we input the key, and then once we've input the key, we should be able to, as you can see, it says, hello world, this is some input text that I love. We send that. We, for some other reason, are getting... Sorry? Yeah, I don't think, I think I'm in the wrong... Was it West 2? Okay, so that's, I guess, what's causing the issue. But you see, you guys are already good at this. Right? Do you see how we've progressed in those 35 minutes we've been at this? So let's see if we can send that now. Yeah, much better. Okay, so now you're essentially sending this request and you're getting some scores back for sentiment analysis. So you want to then go, okay, I want to do this using an HTTP request. Then I want to maybe create a little Python application, have the application talk to my sentiment analysis. You maybe even want to take it one step further and create yourself a logic app. And the reason I'm saying this is because these are all services that talk to the data science components or the machine learning components or the AI components. And they come up in the exam. because once again, it's a data science on Azure exam. It's not just a data science exam. Even though the focus currently is on the data science, the focus is slowly shifting to Azure. Okay. At the moment, it's all that stuff with a little bit about Azure here and there and what to use when and so on and so forth. But that is slowly shifting. They've been trying to do that for ages, and we're probably going to see questions start to slip in that are more Azure-focused than they are data science-focused. So play with these guys. It's going to be helpful if you guys decide to do the AI 100 along the way as well. Once you've got, let me go to my resource group. Once you've got the other guys stood up, so once you've got this guy stood up, right, understand what you've got here. Understand the relationship between the account and the workspace. They're separate things, right? The account essentially says to you, you have a Databricks account, now you have to create a workspace. The workspace is really where the magic happens. That's where you can create your clusters, make decisions around the types of clusters, make the decisions around what they support, okay, so on and so forth. As you can see, Azure Active Directory signs you in. Now, it should sign me in because I'm essentially the global admin here, but if you were anyone else, it wouldn't. Then you'd have to go back, create a service principal, create a managed ID, or give the person permissions to Azure Databricks. Once you have Azure Databricks, you're in that position where you can now start to create notebooks. So create notebooks. Okay. Learn how they run. Create clusters. Clusters become important in this exam because you will get questions around wanting to run particular workloads and whether you can run them in Databricks, whether you should run them in HD Insight, whether you should run it on a VM, whether you should use the data science VM, the deep learning VM. Okay. All these things pop up. So it says it's loading a cluster. We don't have a cluster at the moment. So it's telling you a lie at this particular point. But it's going to give you the ability to create a cluster, even though it seems really, really slow. Okay, well, that's happening. We'll move to the other guy that we set up, which was the machine learning workspace. The other thing you'll notice here, guys, is that the machine learning workspace also installs all this stuff. Okay, so the Key Vault, storage account, application insights. So your machine learning workspace, you can pretty much see the similar components that you see in most Azure environments, and then it starts to get a little bit different, because now we're talking experiments, pipelines, compute, models, images, deployments, activities. For the exam, focus on that, because the exam doesn't know about this at this point, right? This preview portal doesn't exist in the context of the exam, right? So when I sign in here, you're going to see a slightly different portal. This portal will be in the next exam, but the exam as it stands has no idea that this particular portal exists, right? So I'm not saying don't use it, but I'm essentially pointing you at, I don't know why I have all this credential stuff now. I'm essentially pointing you at the fact that I should have created a profile for this. It's just in a weird loop, yeah. It was fine. We used it in the automated machine learning session we ran this morning. It was, but I understand what you're saying, but So concentrate on these guys. Understand what a pipeline is. Know what an experiment is. Okay. Understand what models are. Compute. Right. We have a concept. We have the concept of targets. Targets are compute. Experiments are where you store your models, your pipelines, okay, and in some cases your deployments. Activities are related to all of them, depending on how you set up your activities. But what you will find, guys, is that there are loads of samples on GitHub, right? And if you look at these samples on GitHub, you'll tend to find that they go to a lot of different places. They also go to explaining a lot of what you need to know around these products. How to set up the environment, how to use the environment, those sort of things. This particular guy who's still trying to load a cluster for me, goodness me. Don't know. There we go. So now we can create a cluster, or we can try and create a cluster. Give it a name. What's important, guys, is not the cluster, but these guys here, right? And you can see there's 15 more. So you'll get questions around you want to do something using a particular library or a particular package or a particular language. So what sort of cluster would you need to use in order to do that? Right. Then you need to kind of understand that it might not be Databricks. Okay. I know it starts to sound like this is really, really broad, but I'm just trying to be as open as I can with you guys because it is really broad. I wouldn't say shocked, but quite taken aback when I took this exam. It wasn't what I expected. And you really just need to have your data science chops in order to take this exam. Okay, so you'll tend to find that a lot of the questions go to that place. A lot of the questions sort of focus on things like Docker, containers, okay, types of clusters, pipelines. You know, you get questions about things like Chainer and Cafe, Keras. And they'll ask you, so you've got an application that uses Chainer, or you've got a model that uses Chainer. Where are you going to run it? And then you need to know that that would probably be a Databricks cluster running Scala, okay, or something like that. So that's really where they're trying to go with a lot of these things. Play with the data science VM. Play with, you know, the data science VM, when you stand it up, it's got all those example labs that are embedded in the VM. Play with those. Set up Jupyter. So set up a local instance of Jupyter Notebooks. Okay. Understand how that works. Understand how it works in the context of your machine. Know your data formats, right? So if I said to you, you wanted to let's go with, you wanted to move a whole heap of data so that you can use it with Weka, what format would it need to be in? Does anyone actually know? Okay, so that's the kind of thing you need to know. So that would be ARRF. IRRF, yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's what I mean. That's the kind of stuff you need to know. When would you use Parquet or Parquet or whatever the pronunciation is? I'm still trying to get around the pronunciation of Azure. Okay, I've got a friend in Europe who goes, they don't call it the Côte d'Azur. So they insist on saying Azure. If you want to remember that, a good way to do that is to watch Dora the Explorer, who, who has a little train called Azul, right? Which is, and obviously the train is blue as a result. But that's the first syllable of the word, or the first couple of syllables of the word, and how they should be pronounced properly. So guys, I know that I'm sort of going on about things, and you're probably all sitting there going, geez, he's made it sound difficult. All the stuff that I've mentioned, you really need to be familiar with. I've only got a little bit of time, so in terms of preparing, There's lots of stuff out there, guys, and I would use as much as you can, but the real information that is going to help you is the stuff that's up on GitHub, okay? The stuff that's in the data science virtual machine. The cool thing about the stuff in the data science virtual machine is that a lot of it doesn't work. So you get the opportunity to fix it. When I say it doesn't work, it works, but it needs some subtle tweaks because the API has changed or the version has changed and things like that. And it allows you to go and do some research and investigation and go, why isn't this running? And it'll be something as simple as changing the API version or tweaking something somewhere. So that's why I think that's a great way to learn. Obviously, guys, I think there's a practice test for this guy. There isn't? Thank you, there isn't. Go to as many events as you can. I know that the data science community is quite fractured still, but where you see events, go off and talk to data scientists. Sort of read about the stuff that they're using, right? I know there's a move currently to PyTorch, but let's face it, everybody used TensorFlow until 3 or 4 months ago. So become familiar with TensorFlow. And then become familiar with PyTorch. Not on that level where you'll be cutting code like you're a PyTorch master. Just understand why it's there, what it does, okay? What its reason to be is. And do the same with TensorFlow. Figure out what Weaker does. Play with scikit-learn, okay? Obviously play with Python, play with R. Pick a language. The expectation is that you want to be a data scientist, so you're going to have to learn, if you don't already know one, a coding language. So pick one, run with it. Okay. I keep hitting the wrong machine. Ways to prepare. Microsoft Learn is a good start, but it's not going to prepare you for the exam. Okay. It's not even going to get you to that 20% place. It's really the in-depth training, the stuff on GitHub, things like AI School that you need to use. Remember this, guys, that you can take an exam next week, I believe. They're going to light up this site so that you can sign up for another exam. And then go off to the certification if you want to ask some questions. If you want to reach out to me, just if I'm not there, reach out on LinkedIn or something. Okay, I'll help anyone who needs help to get across this exam. But you need a plan, right? You need to decide, I'm doing it in the next 3 months, and I'm going to learn all this stuff, or I'm going to wait until it goes to machine learning service, and in the meantime, I'm just going to become familiar with machine learning service. Some of the other prep sessions, we've got another one tomorrow. I've got another one tomorrow on AI 100. That's 75 minutes, so we're going to actually build out a few things. You might want to just come along because I see a little bit of crossover with these things. Please do an evaluation when you have a moment. Okay. You'll be able to find the session afterwards. Thank you all very much. Have a good rest of the conference. Thank you.